A very warm good morning to all my dear students. I hope everyone is doing well. Children, today we will take up a new chapter, that is chapter 19, Water, a Natural Resource, part 1. Water is a precious natural resource. Our lives depend on it. So in this chapter, let us learn how water is important to us. So let's proceed. Water, the vital element. As Samuel Taylor Coleridge, the renowned poet, wrote in his much celebrated poem, The Rime of the Ancient Mariner, water, water everywhere, nor any drop to drink. The line depicts the immense significance of water as a vital element on this planet. A majority of our world exists as water, yet we can't use this water as it is. We must constantly source, preserve, and purify water for our use. Water is necessary not only for drinking but also for our day-to-day life purposes like bathing, cooking, cleaning, and washing, and so on. We cannot imagine a life without water. Sources of water. Children, where do we get water from? Taps, tube wells, rivers, lakes, tanks, reservoirs, and so on, isn't it? But which is the main source that supplies water to all these sources? Yes, it's rain. Rain is the single natural source that acts as a provider and filler of water on this earth. The rivers and lakes dry up in summer and get filled up in the monsoon. So, in other words, we can say that water is the most important element for all living organisms. The glaciers floating in the North Sea or the layers of snow melting in Himalayas are sources of water too. Storage and uses of water. As the rain pours, water is naturally stored in surface water bodies and the ground. For our convenience, we try and save rainwater in various ways. Tanks, dams, canals, and reservoirs are some of the ways of storing water artificially. Why do we humans need so much water? Well, it's because our lives revolve around water. We cannot survive without water. We need water for every single activity, be it brushing our teeth, washing our clothes, or cleaning our utensils, bathing, cooking, washing, drinking, swimming, and watering plants. The uses of water can barely be summarized. Without water, every living organism on earth will die. Water that is fit for human use is known as potable water. States of water. Water is stored on earth in the form of liquid in the rivers, seas, lakes, etc. During the day, water evaporates due to heat and converts into water vapor. This is the gaseous state of water. Some mountain ranges are covered with snow. Snow is the solid state of water. So basically we have three states of matter: solid, liquid, and gas or vapor. Now come to water cycle. In nature, water from lakes, rivers, oceans, and other water bodies evaporates continuously. After evaporation, water condenses and falls as rain, snow, etc. The process of evaporation and condensation is cyclic. The movement of water from the earth to the atmosphere and back to the earth is known as water cycle. The water cycle is important for the maintenance of life and ecosystems on the earth. Water vapor rises from the water bodies into the air owing to heat and forms clouds. The clouds fall down as rains and fill up the water bodies. This all process is known as water cycle. Children, what we understood in our previous slides? We understood that water can change from one form to another form, and it's a vital element on this earth. So basically there are three states of water: solid, liquid and vapor. Now let's have a glance on the properties of water. First one, water is colorless and transparent. Water is tasteless and odorless as well. There are three states of water: solid, liquid and gas. Water is a universal solvent. Many substances dissolve in water. Water can change from one form to another form. So, in this module of chapter 19, part 1, that's all we have. In our part 2 of this chapter, we will discuss about some methods of water purification, water pollution. I will also let you know about some waterborne diseases and some ways to save water or water management. So till then, everyone take care. Thank you all.